Happy holidays, everyone, and welcome to Red Steam Radio. This is a Dead by Daylight podcast, and I'm one of your hosts, Madison. And I'm joined by my wonderful co-hosts, Bryson, and a special guest, MisterSyrup.
Hi.
Welcome.
So, Steam isn't here today, and instead we have our special guest, MisterSyrup. Why don't you tell us about yourself?
All right. Well, I guess I'm kind of new to the whole content creation thing. I mean, I'm almost in my 30s. I'm still in my 20s. I'm still in college, but I kind of decided to kind of get into content creation a little bit. It's been a slow thing. I have some a little bit of experience with tech, which I guess is where I've been enjoying getting to play around with the VTubing stuff, which I guess is kind of where that comes from. Is I just really like getting to learn how to do cool things. It was nice to kind of be able to buy this model. I guess as a part, I didn't commission this model. I did pay for this model, but it was nice to be able to play around with the rigging a little bit and get to learn the tech side of things and how this actually works and learning how way more complicated this was than I thought. But yeah, my content primarily revolves around multiplayer games, especially Dead by Daylight. I play a lot of Dead by Daylight too.
Me too.
It was kind of funny. I played it a lot on the Xbox One when it first came out. I want to say 2018. I played it for a long time. I kind of fell out probably around the time a lot of people kind of dropped off. I didn't like a lot of the direction the game was going. I'll be honest with you. I kind of felt like the game was about to die. So I was like, all right, time to move on. We'll go play Smite now. And Smite became my addiction for a decade. And League of Legends as well when I met my girlfriend.
Nice.
And then I kind of got back into Dead by Daylight because randomly a friend of mine was like, hey, do you want to come play Survivor with me on Dead by Daylight? And I was like, that game exists still?
Yeah.
I was like, I haven't played that. I think I got out of Dead by Daylight around when Legion came out. Around that kind of unhealthy state of the game, and it was just miserable for everyone.
Legion was rough. That was a rough.
And I was like, all right, this is the player base is dropping rapidly. This ain't for me. I'm not going to invest a lot of time and money into this game if it's going to die in the next 2 years. And here we are, a decade later.
Incredible, right?
And yeah, so primarily Dead by Daylight, I play a lot of killer. I'm definitely a killer main. I do play both. It kind of depends on my mood. Sometimes when I really just want to lock in and just really put my nose to the ground, into the grind, I'll go play killer, which is a lot more than usual. But sometimes when I just want to play a more, I guess, casual experience, I'll go play Survivor.
And who do you main, killer and Survivor?
Killer? Oh goodness. I definitely love to try a lot. But Springtrap is definitely one. I have 3 that I bounce around. Springtrap is the big one for me.
Maddie loves that.
This is awesome.
My kid adores FNAF, and so I kind of got into mastering him just because he likes to watch me play sometimes when I'm off stream.
That's great. That's amazing.
And he'll just watch me lob the fire axe across a a pallet loop.
Love that.
Pyramid Head is my second main.
Ooh, that's
I'm one of the 100 pyramid mains that still exist. I I definitely love pyramid. And then third place definitely ties between Nemesis, Plague, and Legion.
Ooh, okay.
Very nice.
Right now, I'm really deep diving into trying to learn the artist right now.
Yes. Oh my god.
Dredge is the one I kind of throw on when I just really want to have I just want to play more casually killer.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to win against Swifts and stuff like that, it'll be one of my main 3. But if I'm just all right, let's just go, casually have some fun, it'll be one of those. I might pick up Onryo soon.
Well, yeah.
Nice. That's the best mindset to have with Dredge because he's so map dependent with those lockers.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. So, but Dredge is a blast to have, and some of the best cosmetics in game.
Oh, 100%. He only has maybe one bad skin, and even then, it's objective. He eats all the time.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest part. Is some of the more fan favorite characters. It's so hard to make cosmetics Pyramid Head. I'm sure everyone knows Pyramid Head, unless Pyramid Head. What the hell do you do with Pyramid Head?
Yeah.
It's not just. What if we make him look not like Pyramid? That's the only alternative you can really do. The triangle head kind of limits your feasibility a little bit, like Nemesis. Like, what do you do with Nemesis? Besides, I guess, add his skins from throughout the game where he just gets his ass kicked more and more.
Yes, put him in a dress. Give him like give him
it's like you could do like goofy skins if you wanted to, like joke skins, but
exactly.
Chucky's another one. Like, what do you even do with him? Like, okay, I guess you put his movie skins in. They put his Jessica in. What now?
His bride.
Yeah. I mean, like they're kind of getting fun with Chucky. Like they gave him a little hat and a little backpack for one skin. Not the most creative, but it's something.
He did get a blighted skin too, which is cool.
Yeah, I think blighted's that one. I'm surprised some of them don't have. Like, I'm sorry, like Freddy. It doesn't. I get Freddy's kind of hard. I have to assume there's a licensing thing with Freddy that they won't let him do it.
Those license holders are awful. They just don't.
I think they just like low key hate him. They're like leave it alone.
Well, I think they low key hate Friday or Nightmare on Elm Street as well because they hate their own license because they don't do anything with it.
Yeah, it's like. It's rough. It's rough having the less fun mains like Springtrap. It's also just like what do you do with Springtrap? I feel like they've kind of done a lot of what they could realistically do with Springtrap cosmetic wise. I'm sure that they might decide to come out. Okay, let's add a Freddy Fazbear skin or something. Yeah. But then again, then they'd have to go back and re-edit the pizzeria map to not have the other. Animatronics on the stage anymore because it's like
you could
where the hell is he?
They could program or they remove whichever one you're the cosmetic of.
Ooh,
if you're the Freddy, you just remove the Freddy. If you're the I don't remember the names. The bird, you could remove the bird.
Chica.
I'm sorry. Chica, there you go. I couldn't think of the names. I'm so sorry. I'm not a FNAF fan. Cool. Well, thank you so much for introducing yourself. We are so glad to have you and super excited to talk about our topic today.
Yes. And that's
I'm very happy to be here.
Yes. And today our topic is actually going to be talking about Resident Evil. Specifically, how do we feel about a third Resident Evil chapter? Last month, we released an episode speculating on the January chapter. And in that episode, we discussed about it potentially being Resident Evil. However, at the time of this recording, it's actually before the January chapter has been revealed and or released, so we actually don't know what it is, and it's looking like Stranger Things. So if it is Resident Evil, though, sorry guys.
Yeah, this will be a weird episode.
Yeah, it's a little weird, right? Because on the other hand, it's like it's so rough, right? Because like it could be, another character from Stranger Things. I think could add Vecna, I suppose. But I guess it kind of it's just hard too because then I also found the like timing of when they moved it back because they're releasing it now like near the end of January. But then 2 weeks later is the release of the new Resident Evil.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's a little interesting too. But then again, I don't know if they want to triple dip into Resident Evil. I know double dipping has been kind of a thing, especially with Resident Evil specifically. But it's still just like I don't know, like a third one. And it's rough too because there are characters they could add in, like they
exactly.
But at the same time, like they'd have to get very creative with the power.
Exactly.
Like really twist things. Like I guess you could add Heisenberg, and I guess have him do like some kind of metal thing, and it's
because like how can you make like an affection-based power for like the third time and not make it feel like more Wesker or Norm or more Nemesis?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like I guess like they because like. That's like the thing is like when I was thinking about like iconic characters they could add from Resident Evil, I was like okay. I mean they could do someone from the Baker family. They could do somebody from Resident Evil 8, one of the lords. But then I was like, when I started to think about it, I was like, power wise, what do they flesh out with those? I almost feel like they really stretched it with Wesker. His in Nemesis a little bit. Like Wesker, I guess you could kind of make some sense of it, but like even Nemesis with the tentacle, it was like okay, that's that one move he did that one time in that one QTE makes sense, I guess.
In the remake, no less, not in the original.
Yeah, in the remake.
The remake.
And then even Wesker, it's like, okay, this one power he kind of showed off one time in that one scene in that one game. But then I'm starting to think about it, like, okay, Lady D, for example. Yeah, she's an iconic character. What now?
Yeah,
Like,
what can she do?
it's hard. It's hard. It's okay. Well, okay, what can she do? Because the only power you see her express in the game is that she can turn into a dragon.
Yeah, and she's also got like her long fingernails. She can like
so I guess because then I'm like, okay, so, like, what could they do? Like, I guess give her like a lunge.
Yeah,
like
kind of like
an
maybe
extended
Chucky
lunge
or something.
I guess it would be interesting to make an M1 W key killer who just has extended range. That would be an interesting dynamic. Like, they don't really have a power. It's more like they just have better. What's the term the kids use these days? I guess like a stat.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that the word for it? So like, okay, it's like, okay, she doesn't do anything cool, but she can have an extended lunge. And she's a 4/4 killer, so she's like hag speed, but she can reach longer with her M1 lunge, maybe.
Mega.
And then I was also thinking, like, okay, like John Baker, I suppose. But then I was like, what does he do? What does he do?
Like, he doesn't die. This virus can't.
Yeah, okay. His power is he's really strong, and he doesn't die, and he kind of turns into a monster at the end of the game. So I guess unless maybe they go with a monster, like, they don't have to do an iconic named character. They could just be like, hey, I forget their name, but the regenerator at the end of RE4.
Ooh.
The what was the ones that work for the eternally young lord.
Are they like gray? Yeah, and you have to shoot them in specific spots for them.
Yeah,
so it's like they could just do like a monster. They don't have to. I guess technically that's what Nemesis is, right? He's just a monster.
Yeah.
He's basically just Mr. X, kind of. And
I was also thinking they could do a Mr. X, but then I was like, do they want to do that? Because that's kind of just doing Nemesis, but again.
So, before we get
Nemesis...
sorry. Before we get more into Resident Evil, two really quick things. One, just bringing up again, we don't know what the January chapter is, so if this is horribly outdated, we apologize. And additionally, we also want to remind everyone that you can join our Discord server if you'd like to engage with us and maybe even MisterSyrup potentially. And to find people to play Daylight with, maybe join in some combos, give us some episode ideas. You can find the link in the description of this episode. Yay! Yeah, so please join the Discord.
It's been great.
It'll be really fun, I promise. All right, now we can get back to the conversation.
I was just gonna say, because I guess isn't even in the lore, is that Mr. X is just like a prototype Nemesis, basically?
Sort of. They're called tyrants, I believe, and it's like a mega zombie that you can kind of control.
Yeah, and the Nemesis is like an upgraded Mr. X, and then they came out with the Tyrant series, which is just a even better Nemesis.
Exactly. Speaking of which, actually, how about you start us off, MisterSyrup? What is your sort of connection to Resident Evil as a franchise?
I actually grew up with a GameCube, and I had 3 games for my GameCube. I had Sunshine. That's a classic. Everyone had Mario Sunshine, I feel. If you had a GameCube, you had Mario Sunshine. I had Wind Waker. And I had Resident Evil 1 Remake.
Nice. One of these is not quite like the other.
One of those gave me trauma. And the other 2 helped me work through the trauma. And so, I loved the first Resident Evil. I mean, obviously, I was 5. I didn't understand how to beat the game. But man, did I really love getting to that point where I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing, and just completely restart the game. But and then getting to actually get a little older and understand and go back and replay it. So I played RE1. I unfortunately did not have PlayStation, so I did not get to play RE2 and 3. However, as soon as those remakes dropped, you better believe I instantly dropped money on those.
Incredible.
I skipped from 1 to 4, and I was a little confused.
Yeah,
but we made it. I was like, I don't know who this Leon guy is, but he seems cool. And I went to school. I was like, man, I love that new like main character from Resident Evil 4. Like, bro, he's been in the series for like a decade. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, he's new to me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, and so I played a lot of Resident Evil growing up. It was one of those staples. I never really did get into Silent Hill. I was a Resident Evil kid. I
Yeah.
tried to play Silent Hill, and I was too scared of it.
Yeah,
So
Silent Hill's much
I was
scarier.
more afraid of Silent Hill than I was Resident Evil by a mile. I played.
Yeah.
My dad tried to introduce me to The Room, and I played that up until I got to the very first ghost monster in the subway, and I gave up.
Like the dogs or like the actual ghosts?
You know when you go up the escalator and that first ghost
Oh,
tries
yes,
to chase
yes.
you out of the train? I got
Yes.
to that point and I took the disc out.
It's like,
yeah,
I'm done.
yeah.
I was like, I have seen it all. I don't need
That's
to know
great.
this. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm
like,
all good.
I think
Mhm.
I'm gonna go play some
As soon as I realized I couldn't fight him was when I was like, okay, I'm done. I've never been. Growing up, I never liked those like run and hide games. I was always a very
Yeah.
I was more of an action horror kid than I was.
Absolutely.
But, you know, I guess that's a staple for a 15-year-old.
Yeah, and like just to add to that, specifically to those enemies, what I hate most about them is that you can't stop them until like halfway through the game, where you get like one of 5 swords, and then like once you use it, it's gone. But to get the good ending, you need to get all the swords and not use them. So you basically can't do anything to the ghost, anyways.
Damn.
If that's
I've not
how I
played it, so I'm
remember, I
aware.
believe that's what happens. I could be
Mhm.
wrong. I haven't played that game in like more than a decade, maybe not more than a decade, but like almost a decade. I played it when
Damn.
I was like 14, 15 for very legal means.
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely been a pretty big part for me. Like growing up, it was one of those staple series I always went back to. Actually, like after you started asking me about Dead by Day, about the Dead by Daylight chapter, I actually went back and re-downloaded RE2 just to play it a little
Nice.
That's so awesome.
The remake or the
more.
original?
Yeah, the remake. I actually went back because I realized I beat the Leon campaign. I never actually went back and finished the Claire playthrough.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I kind
for
of get that though, because like Claire's, it is different, but it hits a lot of the same beats, so it kind of feels.
Yeah. Yeah, same areas, kind of slightly different gameplay, but yeah,
Exactly.
totally similar. Yeah, for me, Resident Evil, my first Resident Evil was the remake, the Resident Evil 2 remake. I never played a Resident Evil before that. For me, growing up, it was Dead Space. My first horror game was Dead Space, and that's kind of
Dead
a reason
Space.
why it's my favorite horror series to this day. Dead Space 2 being my favorite game of all time. I played Resident Evil 3. I played Resident Evil 4. And then I've not played 5 or 6. And then I've played 7, 8, and I've played RE1 remake. I did that earlier this year. Not all the way through, just enough to know about it. But
It's definitely an acquired taste.
yeah, like I'm not a huge fan of tank controls and locked screens or locked cameras. Like it's just that's a bit archaic for me. But I enjoyed it nonetheless. I played through about half of it. And enjoyed what I did, and you know, I played Jill. I think you can play as Jill or Rebecca, one of the two.
Yes.
I don't know.
I think it's Jill and the guy. Is it Chris?
Gomez?
Gomez, yes.
Gomez, that's it. Yeah. So I played Jill because I love Jill, and I love Jill from 3. Even though Resident Evil 3 was very short, I still liked it a lot. And then RE4 was just a classic. I never played that growing up, but I knew about it, and I know how much Dead Space kind of was inspired by RE4, so I was like, okay, well, I gotta play this game, and I loved the remake a lot. And yeah, I'm very excited for Requiem. I liked 7 and 8. Village was probably my favorite of the 2. They just get a bit actiony for my taste in the later half of the game, and they kind of like super actiony. And I was like, okay, the horror here is lost.
Yeah.
I think that was my problem with 8. I agree with you. 100%.
Yeah, so the quality, I think the quality as the longer you play them, kind of tapers off.
Yeah.
But overall, I think I've enjoyed them, and I'm excited for 6 and 7 5 and 6 remakes if they ever do make those, because I've heard those games are kind of rough.
how do I say this? In my opinion, I think at least 6 needs a whole rework of its story. Like the entire thing needs to go and start over. But that's a different day, a different episode. Maybe at the end of the episode we can talk about that.
6 is why we got 7.
Exactly. With my history for the franchise, I have to admit I'm a fan, but I've never played any of the games.
Oh wow!
Sue me. But I do have a sort of sweet story with it. So a couple years back, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, little history. I had a very intense surgery, and there were some complications where I was only there for like a week, but I had to stay a couple extra days because I was having health issues and there was some bleeding. I'm not gonna go into details. Very yucky. But when I was in like the care unit, I had this TV and I could watch Netflix, Disney Plus, YouTube. And when I was scrolling on YouTube, I was really bored. And recently, I don't remember if Resident Evil 7 or 8 or something Resident Evil was mentioned, but I was kind of interested. And I searched up Resident Evil clips, and eventually I found this 8-hour long Resident Evil video that covers every single piece of canon media.
Oh my god.
Chronological order. I watched that over 3 days.
I think I know the video, and I watched it myself as well.
Yes. But I watched that for like 3 days over the course of like my 8-9 day recovery, and it really helped me like emotionally because I was a mess.
Aww.
I was super sad, super depressed because I was like, I can't do shit. But watching that video, I just kind of like, I don't want to say escaped, but like I started really caring about the lore, and I found it really interesting. I was like, damn, I fuck with this. And I still really want to play the games, but I just keep putting it off.
Oh, they're really good. You got to give them a shot.
Resident Evil it's such a time investment.
Or not 3, sorry, that's not good.
Yeah, it is. It's a long running series, so you have a lot to catch up on. For sure.
Like and then in itself.
Yeah, in addition to the main line, you have all these other spin-offs that you could go down a bunch of rabbit holes for sure.
Like there's the Escape Raccoon City, there's Resident Evil 0. There's
Code Veronica
something.
Yeah.
There's like a weird like side game that's like before 5, between 5 and 6, I think, and it's like a side game. It's weird. But yeah, really big fan of Resident Evil lore. I've never played it.
No worries, not a requirement.
So, let's dive into a bit more Dead by Daylight and Resident Evil. Specifically, its history with the game that we all love. Somewhat. Jokes aside. The first Resident Evil chapter was the 20th chapter in the game, and I believe it was either the 6th or 7th, anniversary chapter.
Oh no.
I believe it was the 6th one, and it released on June 15th, 2021. And in that we got Nemesis, Leon Kennedy, Jill Valentine, the Raccoon City Police Department map, along with several legendary skins for the survivors that added Claire Redfield and Chris Redfield.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on the first Dead by Daylight X Resident Evil chapter?
Around this time when it was revealed, I was not playing Dead by Daylight at the time, or maybe I was, and I just wasn't super into it quite yet, back to the degree I am now. But it was around, let me see, when this came out, 2021? Oh yeah, so I think they announced this the year prior, at the previous anniversary event, if I'm not wrong. So it was like in COVID, and so I was like stuck inside. I was watching it with some friends, and I just remember people like freaking out about it. Like this was like, because like these were big chapters, like these were huge chapters, and people were super excited for it. And I think the teaser was like someone gets hooked, and then an Umbrella logo, like
Dwight gets falls, and then Umbrella logo falls, and then zombies come in like
which so
kind of
cool.
Disappointed me. Because I still thought there was going to be a power, instead of like normal hook states, zombies would try and get you. And then that just never happened. False advertising. The second time they've done this to us.
Yeah, I mean, they can be. Their marketing maybe needs to be a little more precise with what they do. But yeah, it was cool to see. Like I said, I wasn't a huge Resident Evil fan then, but I've played a lot of the games since, and I've greatly appreciated it and the characters. And Nemesis is a cool addition because there for a while we thought it was all going to be Mr. X. I think a lot of people were like, "Oh, it'll be Mr. X," because Resident Evil 2 remake had recently come out around that time, and then to see that it was Nemesis was kind of a nice surprise.
Yeah, whoa. How about you, MisterSyrup? What are your feelings towards that first chapter?
I definitely think like RE, like the first RE chapter is definitely like a highlight of like how, like I suppose like how good that they can make like the licensed content. Mm-hmm. Like I know like the first licensed content was Michael Myers and then Freddy Krueger, and like those were like huge. and Leatherface as well. But like, I feel like that with the Resident Evil ones, it really like skyrocketed what the content could be. Because like that was a lot of content all at once. Like we got, like you said, we got Jill, and we got Gomez, and we got Leon, and we got Claire. And like that's a lot for Survivor side, but even for like the killer side, there was a lot of really good like killers. Like it didn't have the mess like we had with Freddy when he came out.
Yeah.
Or like the laziness that we got with Leatherface, where they basically had to force him out.
But get out here. You do the same thing.
So it's just overall, it's just very, very good like content overall. Like I feel like I don't know anyone who was like not happy with either of those chapters.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Especially since I believe at the time when it came out, it was the highest player count Dead by Daylight ever saw. It was like over 100,000 players playing on the hour, which was crazy. Because everything before that was below 100,000. This was the first time it ever hit triple digits. Additionally, this was an anniversary chapter, and we only had the teaser of the badge, so we had no idea who was going to be in it. Well, we kind of all had the idea of, Leon's going to be in it.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't know there was going to be 2 survivors. We didn't know we were getting a map that became 2.
And then they came out with skins as well.
Skins. Exactly.
Huge chapter.
Huge chapter. And it was amazing. It was super cool. However, I feel like a thing that a lot of people have thankfully forgotten, and I have also forgotten until I was doing research, the PTB was very, very buggy. And I don't have a collection of all the notes, but like some notable things are Nemesis zombies, which is sometimes not spawn again. Sometimes they would run into walls, get stuck in corners, and never get out. And that's not even mentioning, like, I'm pretty sure, I can't remember what perk it was. There was a perk that broke, and basically you could never use it. It was basically like a death perk. And there were other things like Raccoon City was basically like super gigantic, and people didn't love it for gameplay wise. And like, I'm pretty sure there was a spot in Raccoon City Police Department where if you vaulted, you would be stuck in that room forever.
Wow.
So like,
well, there was also the top side of the library of Raccoon City, where if you went up there and you had certain perks like boil over, at the time you were likely guaranteed to wiggle off so then they just completely removed it, like it's gone now. So
they literally blocked it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely, because after I said it and you had began, I realized I forgot the absolute state of RPD when it first came out, which is why we now have the 2 versions of RPD.
West Wing, East Wing.
West and East Wing. So I admit I kind of forgot. I don't know if that was a trauma response or not, but I did forget about how awful. Like, no, I can't say awful because like that was probably one of, you can tell they put so much love into that map.
It
is identical to
it is a
RE2
one recreation. It is an astonishment that they only charged $15 for that DLC. Like the amount of dev time that must have gone into that chapter is insane to me.
Exactly. And like all the little details, they're so cute. Like in that little save room, the save music plays from Resident Evil 2, which is just amazing.
It's like that thing that, like, you know, in the heat of the game, you're never going to notice, but it's still like, because like that really is the thing too, right? It's that thing where like when you're just playing, you're never going to notice. Like when I'm trying to run away from the freaking Nemesis and his zombies, I'm not stopping to go, oh, that's the save music. If you could just, sorry, I froze a little bit there. There we go.
No, you're good.
I was just, hey, if you could be a pal and just hook me next to this room so I can hear the save music, that'd be awesome. Like, it's like, but they didn't have to do it, and they did do it.
Exactly.
And they still kept the pricing within like a decent area. It's still the most expensive chapters we've gotten, but still.
Yeah, it's
worth it.
Exactly.
Totally.
It's really cute. Love that. And it was really popular. Speaking of popular chapters, in August 30th, 2022, we got Project W, the second Resident Evil chapter, and so far is the only chapter we have gotten a sequel for. Hopefully Stranger Things wasn't the January chapter, so this doesn't sound embarrassing in retrospect. But before it actually came out, we actually got teased this in the anniversary year 7, I believe, during year 7, they teased that we're getting Project W. And people were like, ooh, what's this going to be? But everyone kind of said, like, oh, Wesker's going to be the killer. Because Project W, you can see it, you can hear his laugh, I think, or something like that. No one knew who the survivors were going to be. And I think everyone was really happy when it was confirmed to be Ada and Claire. Not Claire. Wait, is it Claire? Rebecca.
No,
Rebecca.
it was
Rebecca
Chambers.
Yes,
yeah,
Rebecca Chambers.
And Ada.
I said, I slipped up earlier too, and I said that we got Jill as a survivor. I forgot she was a skin.
Jill?
No, Jill is the base with Leon.
Oh, you're right. Oh my god,
Yes.
I'm so
Leon and Jill are the base.
Yes, Claire.
There's so many cosmetics, like it's easy to get them mixed up.
Like,
so,
there's so many cosmetics, I get it all mixed up, and I don't play them enough.
Because they all have like legendary skins that make them other characters.
Yeah, I think
it's
all have
incredible.
I think both of them, like Leon and Jill, have 2, and then the other 2 have like 1.
One each.
Well,
yeah, it's crazy.
Actually, no. Leon and Jill have 3. The other 2 don't have legendary. They have very rare.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
There we go. Confusion.
We got it. We got there.
But yeah, we got teased about that in the year 7 anniversary, I believe, live stream, and people were just really speculating about that until the next chapter was Project W, I believe. So I can't remember who the year 7 anniversary chapter was, but after that, I'm pretty sure we got Wesker.
Year 7. I'm trying to think. I don't remember.
Let's use our collective brains list to remember.
Was it Dredge?
It was Dredge, yes.
Because he comes out around there. Because
Yes.
the following year it was Singularity. That was 8.
Yes.
Because
And
that
then
whole anniversary stream got leaked, unfortunately.
Yes. And then they had to do it early.
Yeah,
that was a time. That was
rough. That was a rough
year.
That was rough.
Oh my god.
I mean, this year's a rough year too, but yeah. Wesker was really big. And Wesker is still kind of big today because, like, he is one of the most picked killers to today's date. Yeah. He is super popular in 2v8, as we know. Don't see as many nemesises as I do Wesker's, but, like, I see Wesker a lot in just normal 1v4. Like, a super popular killer, but also pretty strong with those 2 dashes. Exactly. And with some kind of map pressure with infection.
Yeah, he's very, like, I guess, like, what's the word? I guess he's like a tech checker. Like, you have to really understand how collision works to, like, be able to utilize him like the strongest way possible. It's why I don't play him. But yeah, he really relies on your not just map knowledge, but like your game knowledge of like how the mechanics work. Like, if they ever change how like collisions work and how killers' powers can work on corners and stuff like that, you'd have to relearn Wesker.
Yeah. And like other killers do, like Blight.
Blight especially.
Blight, Wesker.
Yeah.
Even
Hillbilly.
Yeah. Just a lot of people. But yeah, Wesker has a lot of skill expression, and I think that's kind of why people fell in love with him on the BGB, because this was before Dash Slop kind of entered the scene. He was like the beginning of it, so people were like, whoa, he's just a Dash killer, but he's really good.
Yeah.
Like, really, he's like fun.
And he's fun, exactly.
And he's fun, yes. Very fun.
That's very important. So yeah, he was really fun, really strong. And the perks that we got were actually pretty good too, because like Leon and Jill had both one fun perk, I would say.
Oh my god. I mean, Blast Mine and Flashbang. Like, you're giving, like, I remember me and my friends were all playing at the time. They're like, it's like, oh my god, we're gonna get weapons, you know, in air quotes. Like, we're gonna be able to fucking stun the killer just willingly. Like, we were just like awestruck by these perks, and I think the second chapter, Project W, like really carried on with that theme with both killers and survivors.
I dare say, like, almost all the perks from all the characters were at least usable. Like, there are some. Like, I'm pretty sure Wesker has Terminus, which is usable. It's not great, but, like, his other perks are actually kind of decent. Like, Awakened Awareness and the Vaulting one are super fun. Nemesis had Eruption. Eruption made a whole meta. He had Lethal Pursuer, which is still used today. And then he has the third one I forgot.
Yeah, Eruption was also especially bad at launch because they included the incapacitated status effect where you just couldn't do anything if the gym blew when you were on it, which fortunately that's been removed from that. But yeah, all amazing perks that are also so relevant to those video games and those chapters. Like, they did a really good job with both of those.
And especially for Rebecca, she got Hyper Focus. She got not Shoulder the Burden. What's it called? Hang in there, something like that.
Yeah, the one that pauses your hook.
Yeah, and she got like a mini leader effect too. Like an ally, she got Wiretap. She got a bad perk that no one talks about with the heal icon, and she has oh god, what's it
I don't
called?
remember either. It's been a while.
The point is,
Wiretype's great though.
mostly good perks, mostly fun perks too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would say after this, the player count was pretty high. I don't think it was high as the first Resident Evil, but it was definitely up there. I would say like 112,000, I want to say, roughly, give or take.
Mhm.
And ever since then, people have been kind of not expecting, but waiting for Resident Evil Chapter 3, because everyone's kind of under the assumption that it was going to happen. It's just a matter of when. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about, because as again, recording of this episode, which is not Christmas Eve for us, but it will be for you, wonderful listeners and viewers, we don't know what January is going to be, and it could very likely be Stranger Things, Bobby, or it could be Resident Evil 3 Chapter. And we're going to kind of like delve into that specifically. MisterSyrup, how about you start us off? How do you feel about Resident Evil Chapter 3?
I think it's really just a case of like I would be excited for it. Like I think it would be a good idea for them to go for that route. I worry about like what they could put in, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, you don't want them to do a Resident Evil 3 chapter, or sorry, a third Resident Evil chapter, just because they can. You want it to be,
Yeah.
And to like try to capitalize on the new game coming out,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That'd be kind of my concern a little bit.
Yeah,
like, are we only doing this because we got Requiem around the corner?
Exactly.
Right.
But I also know it's the licenses that really make them the money. So it's
yeah. Oh yeah.
The money maker. The money maker.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I think they don't. I don't think they shouldn't do it if they feel like they have to, but you should do it if there's something there. I would make the argument that there isn't something there. Which we'll get into a little bit later, but I don't think the January chapter is Resident Evil. Just because I don't think that chapter would have two survivors again. I just don't think there's anyone. We've said this in the past. I just said this in last month's episode about the speculation. I just don't think there are two notable survivors to put in another Resident Evil chapter. Maybe when RE9 comes out, and afterwards down the road, whoever that main character, I don't remember her name, maybe they'll add her and someone else.
Grace something. I don't remember her last name.
Yeah, Grace is her first name for sure. Thank you. Yeah, so I just don't think, and then killers, they have a lot of options, as we've already kind of mentioned, and we'll get into more details later. But yeah, the survivor pool is lacking for sure.
Yeah. Personally, for me, I do feel like there should be a Resident Evil 3. I do think there's enough content to do so. I don't think they can do two survivors, but there's no saying they have to do two survivors. Like, yeah, the last two did that.
Right.
But we could do a killer, a survivor, and a map. Simple. Because there's so many iconic locations you could do for maps.
Oh,
like
my God.
Castle Dimitrescu, the village, the Baker Estate house on the swamp area. The swamp could finally get a new map in its realm.
Yes,
we could
please.
also have, like, I don't know. We could also have, like, the ship from Resident Evil 5, I believe. Like, the one where it's, like, got the fish guy on it. Or the guy who turns into the fish. We could also do, like, the cargo bay from there. We could do the village from Resident Evil 4, or that castle, too. Lots of villages and castles, I'm realizing.
Yeah.
We could also just do outside of Raccoon City. Like, outside the police station and on the streets. Because we don't technically have a
that'd be cool.
yet.
Yeah.
So, like, there's a variety there.
I could definitely see the Baker House. I really feel like that would be a good call on their part. I think it almost begs for it. You know what I mean?
Yes. Like, please make me into a playable map. Please.
Yeah, because they have like a
you don't even
greenhouse.
have to do a one-to-one recreation, as much as I'm sure people would love it if they did.
Yeah,
it's a big house.
It is a pretty big house. Like, it has a whole ass creepy basement, and then we can put a basement in the basement.
Yeah.
Basementception, maybe. Perhaps. Also, for, like, survivors and killers, we do have some good options for survivors. Like, I feel like it's too early to say Grace, but, like, we have Rose Winters, Mia Winters, and, of course, I know you don't really like him, Bryson, but we do have...
I'm sorry.
Ethan Winters himself.
Oh gosh.
I think the problem with doing Ethan is that he's a faceless protagonist.
Right.
That is his problem.
And
It's like, how do you put a guy that doesn't have a face
into the game?
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
have
I
to
mean,
canonize what he actually looks like, and I don't see Resident Evil going like, yeah, by the way, we finally canonized what Ethan looks like in this other game for a paid DLC.
Which can we talk about? Like, why? Why did they make him faceless, even in the third person
for 7,
mode?
Which is weird because
for
they
7.
don't. It's a one-time thing because
Yeah.
even in the DLCs for the games, both games, they don't do that.
Yeah.
In 7, you play as Joe Baker,
Mm-hmm.
and in 8, you play as Rose.
Yeah, it's weird. And like I think the main reason they did that is because when they kind of like soft rebooted the franchise for 7, they kind of want the player to more associate themselves with Ethan. So by not giving him a face, it's easier to like project yourself onto him. The problem is that Ethan's kind of a little bitch. No disrespect to Ethan lovers, but he is a bit of a little bitch.
The Ethan Winters defenders out there are going to say, "Oh, he's just a loving husband and a loving father who wants to save his family." I get that, but man, this man is a whiny bitch.
Yeah.
I get it. He's constantly getting stabbed and slashed at and limbs removed, but like. I just like find him so annoying. Like, probably one of my least favorite aspects of the newer games, with 7 and 8 kind of being his arc. But like, I don't know. I'm not feeling Ethan Winters.
Yeah, it's a choice. But yeah, there's so many options you could do for, in my opinion, a third Resident Evil chapter, and we kind of all got our opinions out. So why don't we kind of look at some possibilities of what this third Resident Evil chapter could be? Let's start off with the killers. So we do have a couple main targets, quote unquote, and these would be Lady Dimitrescu, John Baker, Carl Heisenberg, and Mother Miranda. Those are kind of like the main 4, and I guess there's Mr. X too, but more people associate him with being a skin for Nemesis as like a visceral legendary or something.
Yeah, I don't expect him being his own killer. That gameplay would just be too similar, I think.
Yeah. So, MisterSyrup, who would you like to see the most as like a killer for Resident Evil 3 chapter?
It sounds stupid, right? It sounds
No.
because you're like, how in God's name would they even do this?
Yeah.
But honestly, I need to get the name right. I think she deserves the honor of me actually knowing her name correctly.
Honestly?
Donna
Sure.
Benevencio from Resident Evil 8. She's the doll.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I think you could have a weird... they've already tried the whole thing with the Summons character, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Victor and the twins.
Yes.
And I think it could be interesting to have that a little more fleshed out. Like, they already came out with this new way of building a killer character, and they haven't touched it since the twins.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love the idea of like being able to actually have like some kind of duo character, because they show off that the doll is like possessed, like it has a mind of its own, but it's also being puppeted by Donna. So it's an interesting dynamic. I would love to see them flesh out. I don't think they will. I think I'm a very hopeful dreamer. I don't think they will do that. But man, would that be cool! I found her level in Resident. Everyone loved Lady D. Everyone loved Heisenberg. I get how short it was, but I loved the mind game.
Yeah,
it's definitely the most memorable. Yeah.
Oh
and
my
the haunting
God.
stuff. I loved the
and
dollhouse.
the giant baby
Oh,
in the
God,
hallway, in the dark ass hallways.
Oh,
My God!
And so for me, I would love to see Donna being added as a killer, and she can do something with like a summons thing where she can like teleport the doll to places as almost like a, because you could also use the doll as almost like a night guard.
Oh yeah, like a patrol kind of.
Yeah, and like you can like teleport her to like almost like because I could see merging so many different powers to create a unique one. Because you could literally just have that you can summon Donna at generators like Freddy's teleport ability.
Oh yes.
And you can either use her for surveillance, or you can also use her as almost like a skull merchant drone.
Ooh.
Or you could use her as like a night guard, and she can chase people.
Yeah, especially like in that end of the house level, she's kind of like hide and seek with multiple dolls. So maybe they can have like every minute in the match, you have to go find the real version and kick it.
Yeah,
or
like
you
could do something like that, where like she like can create like illusions.
Yeah.
Like, if you get like hit with her power, like say you're repairing the generator that the doll teleports to, you get like affected by some status effect.
Yeah.
And you have to do the hide and seek mind game at the end to try to find the real one to like break yourself out of it. Now, like it would have to work like a pig trap, where like there's only so many times you can do that. But it would be a really good for like slowdown, which I feel like a lot of people would prefer right now, given like how strong gen rushing has become.
Gen speed's
It would be nice to add some kind of a slowdown killer again.
Yeah,
I feel.
They're cooking.
What about you, Maddie? What do you want to see in a killer?
Ooh, honestly, that's a really good choice for a killer. For me personally, this is kind of me predicting what they're going to do rather than what I want, because I would be happy for anyone, unless it was like a no-name character from like 6, then I'd be kind of annoyed. Like, spoiler alert here, Alba Wesker's son. Like, I wouldn't want him.
It's like, who the hell is Jack? Like, Jake, who is this? Like, why is he bald?
I didn't know he had a son. That's crazy.
That's kind of... But, for the killer, I expect it to be someone really popular, or someone who makes sense as, like, the new trilogy bad guy. Because, like, for the first 3, Nemesis can kind of serve as, like, the face of that original trilogy.
Right.
4, 5, and 6, I feel like Wesker fits perfectly in the middle. 7, 8, 9, it's a bit more up in the air, because you have John Baker, you have Little Mold Girl, whose name I forgot, but, like, they're not going to add a kid to Dead by Daylight as a killer. Well, I guess they did with Legion. I don't think they're going to add a little kid.
Yeah.
And Mother Miranda, she's okay, but, like, in terms of villains, she's not surfing. So,
I love how you framed that about the little kid. They say, they beat the 5-year-old with a pallet.
Like, hit him in the face with a pallet. Kill the old child.
I mean, I guess they did add, trying to
and
kick a 3-year-old with Victor, so, I mean...
Yeah.
Kick the child.
Kick the child.
Get your blood points.
Exactly. So, I feel like with Behavior and Capcom, I feel like what they would realistically go for is they would either go for Lady Dimitrescu or John Baker. I feel like those two are like, did I say John Baker? I meant Jack Baker. You get the point.
I think it's John.
Is it John?
In the show notes, it's John, and I did look up the names.
Okay,
it's not Jack.
John Baker.
Joe Baker is the brother.
Yes, Joe Baker's the brother.
Jake Baker, I think it's Jake. Isn't he like the little rat bastard kid?
I don't remember his name, but I know what you're talking about. I know that bastard.
Yeah, the one that you don't actually... Yeah, it's the one that Chris kills.
Yes, in the DLC. Yes.
Yeah, that little piece of shit.
But, I feel like they would pick one of those two, just because they're the most memorable and recognizable in the franchise.
They could do I see what you're saying. They could do Mother Miranda.
Mother Miranda would be really good.
Since she technically was the overarching antagonist of the Winter Saga.
Like, of 8, yeah. My only problem with that, the only reason I see them not doing that, is specifically because she's kind of a plot twist, if that makes sense. Like, you see her in the first...
but the game's been out for so long, so they might... Because, I mean, technically, Wesker's a bit of a plot twist in 5. Like, you don't see him... He just shows up in 5. And he kills the CEO of Umbrella.
And, I mean, technically, in Resident Evil 1, 2, you get revealed at the very end, but it's like, it's been 20 years, so I feel like they could do Mother Miranda. Now that I think about it.
Because I was suddenly thinking about it. Usually it's a character in the game that dies, but they're important into the plot.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm like, I don't see them doing what would be basically an underling for Miranda. They would just do Miranda.
Because they would just do Miranda, exactly. So, yeah. I would say I would say personally they would either do Lady Dimitrescu or John Baker. Lady Dimitrescu is unlikely, as MisterSyrup said, so it would probably be Mother Miranda or John Baker.
Yeah, Mother Miranda would be interesting because I'm trying to remember her boss fight at the end. Isn't she like floating around, throwing things at you?
She does like a couple things. Like she floats around, she throws projectiles. She goes into like a melee form sometimes and claws at you.
Right.
She throws sludge.
Because I'm really like Lady D for Resident Evil 8 is just the antagonist that people are just so familiar with and love. It sucks that we don't get more time with her, but the way she stalks you in the castle and her daughters, maybe you bring in her daughters and maybe they have something to do with her abilities, or maybe even give those cosmetics to other characters like Legion or maybe Nurse or something. But
I was gonna say Nurse would be kind of a fun fit.
Right. So, I mean, there's a lot you could do, but I think if they were to do a killer, they would pull Lady D just because she is the icon of those kind of overarching.
She's the icon. She's the moment.
But if they do John Baker, I just don't know what they do. He's a guy with a shovel for a while, and then he mutates into this giant tentacle monster, which, man, that boss fight is just over the top and unnecessary, I think. Wasn't a fan. I was not a fan of what he turns into from his human form, but...
Yeah, no, that was a little weird. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was just kind of all over the place. I'm like, why is he like this? Why is he in these different weird shapes? He has these eyeballs everywhere, which is a Resident Evil thing. I get it,
shoot the
but
eyeballs,
still...
it dies.
Yeah, right. And then, like we mentioned earlier, Manny Heisenberg, Carl Heisenberg, he's the third. Is he the final?
He's the final one, yeah.
He's the final one for Mother Miranda. You know, you go into his factory, and then in the end, you have this like tank fight, which I thought was goofy. But he's got like he like manipulates like metal and stuff. Like he can, or is it just metal, or is it other things too? I don't remember.
Yeah. It's metal. That's why he wasn't able to manipulate your tank, was because your tank was made out of like I think it was like polyarmor or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Like, you can't control this. You'll be safe. And then you go
it has to be
like it's horrible.
Yeah, it's got to be something that has like magnetism.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That was it. Yeah, because I couldn't remember what his ability was, but they could do him. But I don't know what you do with that power. Like
that's the hard part of them doing. Unless Capcom is really gonna be very brave and they basically want to use Dead by Daylight to advertise the new game, and they add in because I know there's like a hunter, like a Nemesis style character in that game that they've already revealed.
Lady, yeah.
So who knows? Maybe they're like, hey, let's use DbD is pretty big. The last couple chapters we came out with were huge. Maybe we can use this to garner some interest.
Ooh,
yeah, that's a fair point. That's a totally fair point. And then the other one.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. You finish your thought.
Oh, okay. Sorry. The only thing I was going to add was because you only got one or two people who are going to buy it. You got people who just really love to buy the licensed content, or two people who already watched the trailer because they're huge Resident Evil fans.
Yeah. So you want to do something interesting,
and then maybe you even spark more interest in RE9 with an RE9 themed chapter in a way with DbD. So
and potential Rift Pass.
Yeah, potentially, because that'll be coming at the same time. My other thought was earlier, MisterSyrup said something about like one of the more creature-focused killers, and I also thought like of a liquor. Those are pretty iconic in the series. They've showed up several times. I just don't think they would do a liquor, because I think if you do a liquor, they have to traverse on multiple services. Yeah. I don't think DbD is a spot right now, code-wise, for them to do that. I just don't think they would do it.
Some maps you just get hacked over in, like Coldwind, like the one with the shotgun middle, you're done for.
Yeah, it's like you just have the floor, like that's your ability. Yeah. Maybe they do like a pounce, but then you're doing another kind of dash killer, and we don't need more of those.
That's why I was secretly hoping they would do something with like the whole twins mechanic, because it's like we have these killer mechanics. Like I would even love for them to add another trapper character. Like we only have two.
We have 3 technically if you include Skull Merchant.
Yeah, so we have
she's
3,
kind of a
and one of them,
trapdoor.
they basically broke her kneecaps.
Yeah.
Oh, poor hag. She's so bad.
Yeah. She did not age well. She did not age
Oh
with grace.
no,
She died.
yeah, she's dead. She's dead.
Yeah,
Totally
unless they're
agree.
going to rework her, she's never coming back, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think she needs a quality of life pass.
They need
it's
to add
rough.
some of her add-ons just into the game is the hard
Yeah.
part.
Exactly.
And do an add-on pass, because some of her add-ons are awful.
Yes. Moving on from the killer section, we did think about some survivors, and we kind of talked about that earlier in the episode. But just to kind of like wrap that up, what would you guys say would be like the number one pick for a survivor in a third Resident Evil chapter? Because for me personally, I feel like Rose would honestly be the great choice here.
And that's Ethan and Mia's daughter, correct?
Yes.
And she's a DLC for 7.
Yes,
Or
she's a
8.
DLC character.
Okay. I've not played that, so I don't really know. But she has like abilities as well, didn't she?
Yes, she has the power of mold. She's technically mold herself, I think.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's got the same powers as her father, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah, she'd be kind of cool. Again, I don't think this chapter needs a survivor. I think you just do a killer, especially if you choose John Baker or Lady D or even Mother Miranda. I think that would be fine. And then just do a map. I think that'd be solid. A solid chapter.
Exactly. How about you, MisterSyrup?
I kind of agree with him a little bit on the, I don't think we need a survivor. Like, we have so many half chapters that are just survivor focused that you could get away with just doing a killer.
Yeah, like a paragraph like we did for the Cenobites with the cube.
Yeah. Or the ghoul.
Or the ghoul, Ken Kaneki.
Mm-hmm.
I wish he was not so annoying.
Yeah.
Moving on to the final kind of topic of discussion about a third Resident Evil chapter, the map. There's a lot of good options. I've mentioned it earlier. You have RE8's castle, the village, RE4's castle, their village, lots of castles and villages outside Raccoon City. How about you guys? What would you say would be like an ideal map if there was one to come with a hypothetical third RE chapter?
I would love John. Oh, sorry. You first.
No.
First.
Okay. Well, thank you. You're very kind. So what I would say is if they do a killer and they don't do a survivor, if you're going to do Lady D or you're going to pull a killer from RE8, which they're likely going to do because those characters I think are pretty iconic, you're going to pull a map from the Baker House. Like that way you kind of have a meld of 7 and 8 and you have that Ethan Winters arc kind of covered in both kind of aspects of the chapter. I think the Baker House is large. You have the outdoor area as well. You have a greenhouse you can add on to there. I would want this to be original, or you put it in like the RPD realm. I don't know what realm that is. I guess it's just Raccoon City.
I think so, yeah.
But yeah, I think if you do the village chapter or you do the village map, I would imagine they do something similar to the maps where they kind of add licensed stuff to it, like Forgotten Ruins, like the D&D chapter, where you just kind of mix in a little bit of something of the chapter. So like, and we do know there is a unreleased version of Swamp that is a village.
Yes.
They've mentioned that. They just have not released it.
I think it got scrapped a while after it was dropped, which is a shame. It kind of
oh my god, yeah, it looked cool based on the screenshots. And Swamp does need a graphic overhaul, and I think just a quality of life overhaul in general. I think we can all agree with that. So I think adding a version of this with kind of aspects of Village would be cool. The Village chapter, or the Village map, I don't know why I keep saying chapter, from RE8. And then just do a quality of life overpass with all those other realms within that map.
Full side grade. Make her look nice.
Mm-hmm.
Give her a facelift.
Yeah, definitely needs it.
How about you, MisterSyrup? What do you think?
I think it would be kind of cool to do the Baker House. I think the real question mark becomes, does it need to be something that's like tied to a like already established basically, does it need to be tied to the killer in chapter itself, or can it be tied instead to
like the franchise?
like the franchise in general?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I would be a firm supporter of just doing whatever they want. I feel like they don't need to tie everything together. We already had the two that were first tied. Let's be a little wild. Let's get a little crazy.
Mm-hmm. Especially with how many games you have in the Resident Evil franchise in general.
Because there's 9 games, 9 mainline games, and then like 20 spin-offs. They make it a little crazy. Like, come on.
And yeah, there's a lot of villages now that you mention it, because aren't they in a village in 5 and 6?
It's not a village. I think it's like a small town, a small city.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's set in, oh god, I don't remember where it's set in. But yeah, it's like they go from a little city to like the bayou or swamp, and then they go to like a dock, and it's kind of all over the place.
6 is all over the place.
6, oh my god, 6 is literally like across the world. Like they're going from country to country between cutscenes. It's like
like each character in 6 is in like a couple. Like Leon is in like Washington D.C. I think.
Yeah, and then Adam's like in fucking like I think it's Antarctica or some shit like
Chris
that.
is in like the Middle East, I think.
Oh yeah, he's in the Middle East for some reason. And like,
well, it's because there's like terrorists that are in the Middle East because this came out around the height of like the Iraq and Afghanistan war.
Okay,
so Chris is deployed by the UN to hunt down terrorist cells that are using bioweapons.
Yeah,
interesting.
Very much a product of its time.
Yeah, it's one of those you could tell when this game got made type of games. Like, oh, why are we fighting terror?
Oh.
Lois Griffin stares into the camera. 9/11.
9/11. 9/11.
Love Resident Evil.
So yeah, that's kind of everything we wanted to talk about for Resident Evil. But I do have a little proposition. If we would like this episode to be a little longer, or maybe we can split this part onto a mini episode.
Ooh.
I came up with a little hypothetical concept in my own notes, if you guys would like to hear about it. If not, that's totally fine.
Go for it.
It is there. It's like cut content. Like,
go for it. I would love to hear it.
Alrighty. So this one, I kind of thought about what behavior / Capcom would do, and I kind of made a chapter that I was pretty proud of.
Ooh.
Let's hear it. I don't really have a name for this chapter. I just call it RE3. But let's go over it. Let's go over it.
I got you.
All right. Let's start with the content. So it's 1 killer, 1 survivor, 1 map. We'll start with the least interesting of the 3, which is the survivor. And I feel like they would choose Mia Winters specifically. I know she's not really loved by fans, but I couldn't really think perks for Rose that would really work. Because it's kind of like Cheryl, where you kind of like sit down and be like, what the fuck would she do? What would she do? So I went with Mia instead because I felt like I had a better idea of who she is. So in terms of cosmetics, I feel like some would be like her in the RE7 house where she's like got the tattered top on. Her beginning outfit would probably be like her default outfit would probably be her outfit at the beginning of RE8. So where she's got like,
with the sweater.
Exactly.
I know the look. And then she gets shot up.
Not actually her.
Yeah.
I also have a legendary for Rose because I feel like that fits. Maybe a legendary for Ethan if they do a face reveal. Oh my god, dream. And also a researcher original outfit made by DbD because she is a researcher or was. For her perks, I have 3 in mind. I even gave them little names and tried balancing. It failed, but it did. So the first perk is Containment Procedure. After you've been on a generator for 45 seconds, this perk activates. When next to a hook, you can press the Activate Ability button to place a capsule compound. If a killer were to hook a survivor that is currently trapped with a capsule compound, instead, the killer is knocked back 5 meters. The hook cannot be trapped with a capsule compound ever again. Additionally, only 1 capsule compound can exist in a trial at a time. The newest one will replace the oldest one.
Wow, that's cool. And very much in line with the other trap perks that Resident Evil is accustomed to.
Because I wanted it to be fun, but not like oppressive, especially for like a survivor friend scenario where they just keep placing it on the hook and you're like, let me hook me. So I feel like that's really nice and fun. The second perk, Fortified Secrets, shitty name, ignore it. After you've been around at least one other survivor for 30 seconds within 30 meters of them, this perk activates. The next time a survivor within 30 meters of you would have their aura revealed, instead, you and that survivor's aura is hidden. This perk then goes on cooldown for 120 seconds. This effect cannot be triggered again for unaffected survivors for 120 seconds. So if you get activated once by this perk, you can't get it again until it's off cooldown, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't stack it and then everyone's like, where are they? Where did they go?
Survivors are in much need of more survivor block or a blocking perks because fog vials were nerfed to the ground and distortion is distortion.
Yeah, so that was kind of my idea. It rewards you being around people, but there's also risk because if the killer finds you, he finds two of you. So that's what I kind of had in mind. And so far, I try to kind of like tie these perks to her lore. So like she dealt with like containment of like Evelyn. Her name's Evelyn, the mold child. Fortified Secrets, I kind of like thought about how she was keeping it away from Ethan, trying to protect him. And then finally, she's kind of like self-sacrificing. So I made a perk called For You. When you are injured with at least 50% healing progress on yourself and you're healing another survivor, you can press the activate ability button. When you do this, you lose 50% healing progress and gain the mangled and hemorrhage status effect for 30 seconds. However, the survivor you are healing gains 50% healing progress and the elusive status effect for 8 seconds.
Oh, nice.
So it's kind of like, get out of here, go, I'll deal with him. And then you get plants.
Oh, that's good. That sounds great.
Yeah. For the map, I decided, because I left this out after Mia because it kind of ties in with the killer, I chose Castle Dimitrescu. It would be an inside map. There'd be a small outside area in the middle of the map, which is the courtyard, and it would be mostly similar to the game, but it would be a little different, and maybe there would be 2 levels. I'm kind of thinking like the map of like the school from Silent Hill, kind of like that shape, but like a little bit bigger.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's not like you're just straight up like on that map again, because I love that map, but the bounce on that map,
yeah.
Like, no.
Oof.
Alrighty, let's move on to the killer. As said before, it's going to be Dimitrescu herself, and I decided to give her the title, the Countess, because, you know.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. Alright, her powers are mouthful, so I'm going to be yapping for us all a minute. I'm so sorry, MisterSyrup. If you've seen the past episodes, I yap a lot.
No, you're fine.
You're probably fine.
I'm just listening.
So, her power is split up into 4 parts. Yes, 4. Ahem. So, she has the first ability, Mother Miranda's Gift. Holding the M2 button, so on right click on the mouse, she can ready her claws, and she can either press M1 or press E. If she presses M1, she will perform a new special ability called Crazed Slash. Pressing M1 will charge up a Crazed Slash, kind of similar to Chucky, and once you let go of that, you will go for a Mega Lunge, kind of similar to Michael Myers. And if you hit a survivor, you will take away a health state, and you will suffer a small cooldown after a hit, regardless if you hit them or not. And it's kind of like a, just like looking at your weapon or whatever. She also does another thing, which is she gets something called defect points. We're going to talk about what defect is in a little bit. But just know, when she hits a survivor with her thing, she gets defect points. And also, when she's like trying to turn, it's really hard. There's very limited rotation. So it's kind of like a hillbilly a little bit. But, a bit easier. All right. Her next ability, instead of pressing M1 when you're holding M2, you can press E. This will cause you to create a mold cradle. And this is called Mold Cradle. When you press that button, you create a small cluster on the ground, kind of like a Demogorgon portal. And it takes a while to power up, quote unquote, as I call it. But once it powers on, it will passively gain you dominance points. Or not dominance points, defect points. And survivors can go up to them and destroy these and get rid of a mass amount of a lot of defect points that you already have. Now, you might be thinking, what's a defect point? We're going to get to that in just a little bit. Because in addition to her M2 and her E, she also has another ability, or I guess allies. During the trial, she spawns in with 3 AI allies, these being her 3 daughters. They wander around the map as little fly swarms, and they're very slow. When a survivor is within range, a sound cue will start to build up to a crescendo, and this will cause survivors to realize they need to break line of sight to get rid of it. As long as they're not within range and line of sight, they're totally safe. However, if you're in that range for too long and that line of sight is not broken, they will materialize and perform a mega lunge towards you. And then after that, they will start to chase you. To get rid of the chase and to get away from them, all you have to do is break line of sight long enough, and then they'll teleport away to a random spot on the map. Pretty simple.
Okay.
Oh my god, sorry. I'm yapping so much. If a minion or a daughter hits you, they'll deal a health state and grant progress points to defection. Additionally, if you cannot break chase and they down you, they will hook their sickle into your leg and drag you towards the mother / the countess. However, you can wiggle out of this.
Okay.
So, kind of connecting back to Ethan Winters getting dragged, literally, by all three of them. Which, that seems so gross. Just imagining that. No. Oh my god.
And then he's hung up
like
by hooks.
Almost crucified, yeah. It's not great. Alrighty, you must be curious now. What the hell is a defect point? Mm-hmm. Well, similar to Wesker and Nemesis, she comes with her own infection system that I call defect dominance. This is visible both to the Countess and the survivors in the form of a circle around survivor portraits divided into 4 parts. After you get a certain amount of points, you will go up a level. And yes, as mentioned before with the mold clusters, it will take away a lot of progress and can cause the killer to go back a level. However, there is some kind of give and take, as we'll get into it. So, every time you get a level, aka a certain amount of points, she will gain a buff. At level 1, her Crazed Slash, which is the name of her extended lunge, can now break pallets and breakable walls, and her cooldown is slightly reduced. At level 2, the daughter's detection time is reduced, and the time required to break a line of sight for the daughters to leave a chase has increased. At level 3, you get all the additional buffs, and your Crazed Slash will now put survivors into the dying state, so they're almost exposed if you hit them with that. And the daughters get slightly faster. Okay. And then level 4, the thing you do not want to happen, the reason why you should be getting rid of the mold, is that defection can no longer lose progress or go down in any way possible. Survivors brought to the Countess by a daughter, so you're down by them and then dragged to her, can be moried regardless of hook state. All survivors are exposed, and the daughters can now also put survivors into this dying state as well. So it's very much a, you fucked up, you did not do the task.
Damn.
And that is the power part of the Countess. I did make 3 original perks for her as well, so a little bit more yapping, but I promise we can end the episode soon, I promise. Alrighty, let's start with the perk I hate the most, Sliced to Ribbons. When you injure a unique survivor for the first time, you gain a token up to 4. At 2 tokens, your basic attacks apply Mangled and Hemorrhage for 40 seconds. At 3 tokens, you will gain 5% haste for 15 seconds. And at 4 tokens, all survivors are exposed for 30 seconds, and then you lose all your tokens. So the idea is kind of like, go chase someone else, hit them, go find someone else, and you keep repeating that, because after a while, once you get to 4 tokens, you get all those buffs, you lose them, but then you can do it again. Yeah. I don't really know what the vibe with that perk was. I just thought it was neat. Second perk, Lord of the Black Mold. At the start of a trial, one generator will become compromised. So compromise is making a comeback. Once it is completed, the generator with the most progress will be blocked by the entity for 80 seconds. Then this perk is deactivated for the rest of the trial.
Okay.
So that's kind of the idea. You get one gen, and if the survivors do that specific gen, the gen with the most progress gets blocked for 80 seconds.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so a bit of slowdown. Not great, but a little meaty. And then, finally, my favorite one, Hex, Flesh and Bones. When a survivor touches an exit gate switch, a totem is lit up and becomes a Hex totem. Both exit gates will be permanently blocked by the entity until this Hex is cleansed. Once these gate switches are blocked, the Hex is revealed to the Hex's aura is revealed to all survivors within 4 meters, gradually expanding up to 24 meters over the course of 30 seconds. So exactly like Noah. Additionally, if the killer is within that range for over 30 seconds, it will teleport its status and its Hexness to a double totem somewhere else on the map. And if it can do that, the Hex will destroy itself. so you can't just camp it to death.
Okay, that's
And
good.
her weapon would be claws. Her cosmetics would be OG monster form, like an OG skin based on her monster form. And then her legendary skin would be turning her into Mother Miranda. And that's my concept.
Ooh, nice.
Lots of yapping. But yeah, that was the concept I was thinking about, because when we were talking about this episode in our little group chat, I was like, whoa, I'm getting creative.
Yeah, the power is especially creative. There's a mix of a lot of different killers in there, but like tier 4 of the mold is terrifying. So like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's gonna be rough for killer or survivors, like solo queue survivors, like coordinating and trying to get rid of it would be rough.
It's not very balanced, but I wanted to have fun.
I mean, hey, that's the best part, right? About chapter concepts. And then the last perk you mentioned, the hex one that blocks
Blood and
the
bone.
exit gates. That with no ed would be evil.
But yeah, I just, stuff like that. It's so fun to like think about what Resident Evil can do, because there's so many ways you could take it. Like, that was just me thinking about mainly her sisters and her like claws with Lady Dimitrescu. But like, as MisterSyrup said, we could have like the doll girl with the dolls going around the map, and you have to like go and deal with them and make sure they're not doing too much because you're going crazy. It's just like, there's a lot of nice stuff to do.
Yeah, they have so many avenues to go down. If a third chapter does come out, I'm excited to see it. But yeah, we'll see. I don't think it's January though. But if you're listening to this now and it's around Christmas time, and the chapter's already been revealed, which I think it will be by then.
Yeah, definitely.
If it's not, that'll be kind of weird. But if not, that would be odd. And hopefully it's not Resident Evil. But we'll see.
That leads me to ask you, MisterSyrup, before we end this episode, who do you think is going to be this January chapter? I'm genuinely curious.
Like, who do I think will be it?
Yes.
God, I'll be real with you. I actually really think it will be Predator. Like, that is strongly where I lean. They just had the new movie.
Yes.
It did very well. And this is a very good... around January, February will be when it goes to DbD. So it would be a good marketing push.
Before we end the episode, though, MisterSyrup, where can our viewers and listeners find you if they want to like see more of your wonderful personality and really cool takes on the game?
I do hang out in the Discord. I am in your guys' Discord for both the podcast and for your regular Discord. And frankly, like whenever I have time off from work and stuff like that, or in the mornings when my son's at school and stuff like that, I'm usually hanging out in there looking for people to play with or just playing myself. For my live streams, I'm on twitch.tv/Mr_Syrup.
Awesome.
And yeah, as of I do have a TikTok. It's not very active at the moment. I need to kind of rebrand it, but I do have it linked on my Twitch. But I'm pretty sure it is MisterSyrup as well. Channel. Like I said, I really need to touch it up and rebrand it all, because I used to do a little bit of streaming back in college, and I had this TikTok ever since. But it's gonna take some time. But yeah, no, that's primarily where people can find me. I don't really have any social medias right now besides TikTok, but that's the plan. Just kind of grow from there. It's a slow, steady progress.
Oh yeah, always is.
Remember, listeners and viewers, if you're interested in the wonderful MisterSyrup's content, go check them out on TikTok and most notably Twitch. And they're also maybe on Discord. Maybe you can play some games on our Discord server where he is. And you can also maybe talk to us. So please click the link in the description to join our Discord. Thank you, listeners, viewers, and all other types of attention / you know what I mean. Thank you for your support. Don't forget to send us an email, follow us on our socials, and share the podcast with someone. Thank you, Bryson. Thank you, MisterSyrup. Listeners, viewers.
It was fun coming on. Thank you for the opportunity to come on and just chat with you guys.
We'll see you all, listeners and viewers, in the fog next week. Happy holidays. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.